welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Whomever you love, whomever you love, we welcome you.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Kent. The Reverend Stephen Protzman, your minister. Thank you to each of you for joining us again this morning as we gather virtually, a spiritual community that seeks to be diverse and inclusive as we inspire love, work for justice, and grow together in community. Wherever you are this morning, we do welcome you. May this time together be filled with joy, with belonging, with hope, and with the promise of who we can be together. Welcome.
Look around, notice the moment. Look around, notice the moment we come carrying love, you know. Look around, notice the way our lives are opening up, you know. Out of the summer we come gathering up a humble offering. Never to cease, our arms are opening. We know that our love is the truth we're living in. Look around, notice the moment. Look around, notice the moment we come carrying love, you know. Look around, notice the way our lives are opening up, you know. Out of the trust comes honest worshiping, the opening arms of life, bringing water and earth our only offering. We know that our love is the truth we're living in. Look around, notice the moment. Look around, notice the moment we come carrying love, you know.
Ingathering is a time for us to return to community as we say goodbye to summer and hello to a brand new church year with our water communion. As we blend the water of our lives together, we recommit to our shared journey as a community. I've been wondering, what is community and what does community mean to me? I think community means family, friends, or people that we have values common with. This church is a community to me because I have so much in common with many of you, and you are all my friends and family. I feel so happy when we are together, and I feel like myself when I'm with all of you. Brian Solis says that community is about doing something together that makes belonging matter. Our church community works together to make a more peaceful world where we all belong side by side. We work together for justice and we search for what is true. This year, we are gathering virtually as a community. I hope that when this is all over, we can do fun things together without staying 6 feet apart and wearing a mask. But I know that I'm not alone. We are all a community. You are my community, like Helen Keller wrote. Alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. I am glad to be together with you this morning.
We join Unitarian Universalists across the country, lighting a chalice, a sign of life's beauty and wonder, a symbol of peace and hope, an invitation to continue our ongoing search for the light of truth within us and among us, and a reminder that we are all interconnected in the great web of existence of which we are each a beloved part. I invite you to light your home chalice as I light our shared chalice. Would you join me now in the words of our congregational covenant? We affirm that each life has brilliance, and when joined with others in joyful community, has the power to transform. We pledge ourselves and our resources to this journey. This covenant inspires and challenges us to dwell together in right relationship. We promise to extend hospitality, nurture community for all ages, encourage spiritual growth, honor diversity, and practice kindness. As a community, one of the most important things we do is hold one another in our hearts and our minds through the journey, caring for one another in the spirit of care and compassion. So we take time now to name and honor life's many twists and turns, the challenges and struggles we all face, the hopes and dreams we have. We also take some time to return again to our truest home, the home of our souls, to reconnect with love itself, with the spirit of life, the God of our hearts and our understanding, however we understand the mystery greater than ourselves. In that spirit, I invite you now to share with us your joys and concerns using the chat box. We send our congratulations to Heidi and Randy, who were married yesterday. We hold on our hearts Lois and Jen as they grieve the loss of Lois's business partner, Bobby Sanders, who died yesterday. We hold Trudy and her family in our hearts as her father begins to deal, and the family deals with Parkinson's diagnosis. We send our wishes for healing to Larry Cole as he continues to recover. We send our congratulations to Martha and John as they celebrate their 56th wedding anniversary. Kathy Slater shares the joy of 49 years of weddedness. Congratulations. Jenny shares gratitude for family and friends who joined in celebrating the release of Brooke's newest book of poetry. Grateful for a special blessing of love and understanding given by her daughters this week. Congratulations to Brooke. Kat reminds us to hold in our hearts those who are waiting for pandemic test results and concerns for those who are returning to in-person school. Eric asks prayers for all those who were impacted by Hurricane Laura. John is thinking of Brinsley and his family, praying for safety and health. Elaine this morning is honoring the memory of her mother, Jean, who departed this life 6 years ago. We hold you in our hearts as you remember her. Pete asks that we think of friends who are in physical pain and one friend who is going in for surgery. May they know peace and healing through the process. I invite us now into a few moments of silence to hold those we've named in this time in our hearts and in our minds, to honor our connections with one another and the spirit of life itself.
Dum ticka dum dum dum. Dum ticka dum dum dum. Dum ticka dum dum dum. Dum dum ticka dum dum dum.
The river is a healer. The river is a sage. The river knows no end and the river feels no age. The river is a leader every single day. It's living in the moment and it always finds a way. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down to the water,
A drop with a dream. Once upon a time, there was a drop of water named Higgins. Cute. Higgins was no ordinary drop of water. He was a drop with a dream. You see, Higgins lived in a valley where it had not rained in a very long time. So all the lovely green grass was turning brown, and all the beautiful flowers were wilting, and the trees were starting to droop. Higgins had a dream one day that the valley would be beautiful again. But what could he do? After all, he was only one drop of water. One day, Higgins decided to travel and tell others about his dream. And one day, Higgins decided that he would travel far and wide and tell. All the other drops listened very politely, but no one believed that his dream could come true. Higgins, said one, get your head out of the clouds. You can't spend your whole life dreaming. Well, Higgins decided that he had to do something to make his dream come true. So he began to think and think and think. And one day, as he was walking by a pretty pink bucket, he got an idea. If enough of us drops of water got together in this bucket, Higgins thought, there would be enough water to sprinkle on a few flowers to help them grow and make them beautiful again. Eagerly, Higgins told everyone about his great idea, but everyone thought he was being foolish. That Higgins, he's nothing but a dreamer, they said. But Higgins decided to do something to convince the others that he was right. So he said to them, you know what? I don't know about you, but I'm getting into that bucket. I hope some of you will join me and that there might be enough water to help at least some of the flowers grow beautiful again. And so Higgins ran as fast as he could and hopped into the bucket with a kerplunk all the way to the bottom. And there he sat, just a drop in the bucket. For a long time, Higgins was very lonely, and it seemed like no one was going to join him. But after a while, some of the other drops could see that the grass was dying and the flowers were wilting and the trees were still drooping, and they all agreed that something must be done. And suddenly, one drop shouted, "Hey, I'm going into that bucket with Higgins." And he leapt through the air and landed kerplunk in the bucket. Then two other drops yelled out, "Hey, hey, hey, wait for us." And they ran as fast as they could, jumped into the air, and landed in the bucket. Then 10 drops jumped into the bucket through the air. Then 2 more, and then 30, and then 50. And then hundreds of drops came from all around just to hop in to the bucket. And soon the bucket became full of water. But there were still more drops that wanted to join. So they found another bucket, and they hopped into that one. Before long, there were 2 buckets of water, then 3, then 4, then hundreds and thousands of buckets of water. Along came a powerful breeze that blew over the buckets, and all the water flowed to a beautiful river. Everything the water flowed towards began to turn green again, and the flowers bloomed, and the trees stood tall and straight once more. And all this happened because Higgins had a dream that came true. Because he knew that although he was just a drop in the bucket, enough drops in the bucket make a bucket full. And when there are enough buckets with the wind behind them, then the water will flow. You and I are these drops of water. And when we work together, we can make justice and peace happen and turn this earth into a beautiful valley. We're going to have water communion later during this service. And as you bring your water from those fun places you've been this summer, places that mean something to you, I want you to think about how by ourselves we can do some things, but together we can do a whole lot more. The story of water communion. This morning, we celebrate water communion, a UU ritual that began 40 years ago. They gathered, the women, who were angry because their voices were not being heard and their spiritual needs were not being met. They held a conference of women and religion in East Lansing, Michigan in November of 1980. No men were allowed to attend. The women came together in solidarity, awakening, reconnecting to their power, reclaiming their gender identity, and seeking new meaning. Seeking to break open Unitarian Universalism to make it more inclusive. They did it with a simple but beautiful ritual. Carolyn McDade, who wrote our song Spirit of Life, and Lucille Shuck-Longview were asked to create a worship service for the conference. As McDade recalls, it was a strong service about community taking power, about creating a political and liberating theology. McDade and Longview spent a lot of time creating a service that has nature and community at its center, just like our service this morning. They named the service Coming Home Like Rivers to the Sea. The women gathered outside in a circle and sang songs of water and then combined water that they had brought with them into a large clear bowl. As each woman poured her water in the bowl, she said something about the significance of her water. One woman brought water she had collected from the Pacific Ocean that was near her home. Another brought water from the Mississippi River. Another brought water from the Hudson Bay, and another from the Gulf of Mexico. Another brought rainwater from the roof of her house. This ritual inspired these women to be more active in Unitarian Universalism and to become leaders in our movement. During that conference, the first draft of our current principles and purposes was written, and the sexist language of the original principles was changed to be more inclusive and reflect the diversity of our denomination.
And now, 40 years later, most of our UU congregations celebrate water communion around this time of year. Water communion is simple, but it's very powerful because of everything it teaches us. It symbolizes Unitarian Universalism, which finds its true strength in diversity, drawing from many different places and many sources of wisdom. Water communion challenges us to remember that water is a precious gift we need to live. We are reminded that there are people in this country and across the world who do not have access to clean, safe water, and that we must work to provide them this basic human need. In this time of climate change, we witness the power of water to destroy as well as give life. We recognize and honor the important role that water plays in our everyday lives. Water communion also invites us back into our circle of belonging, to become part of this community once again, to know that there is a place for each of us here, and that the gifts The love, the energy we bring are needed to make this place what it is. A spiritual home where we can discover truth and grow, where we can be our real selves and learn to be our best selves. A house where we remember our connections to each other and to all of life. So let us gather in solidarity as those women did, awakening, reconnecting to our power, seeking to make new meaning. But let us seek more than solidarity and harmony. Let us seek to open our hearts and Unitarian Universalism even more, to make this community and our chosen faith even more inclusive and welcoming. Let us recommit ourselves to living our seventh principle, the interconnected web of all existence, of which we are each a beloved part. Now it's time for our water communion. We'll begin by pouring a little of the water that we shared last year. Next, we'll hear a poem and then pour water that symbolizes community as we begin a new church year together. Then we'll pour the water of healing, and finally, we'll pour water of hope. Colleen will share with us the poem, The River, by Mary Oliver.
The river of my childhood that tumbled down a passage of rocks and cutwork ferns came here and there to the swirl and slow down of a pool. And I say myself, oh, clearly, as I knelt at the one, when I saw myself as if carried away, as the river moved on. Where have I gone? Since then I have looked and looked for myself, not sure who I am, or where, or more importantly, why. It's okay. I have had a wonderful life. Still, I ponder what that other is, where I landed, what I thought, what I did, what small or even meaningful deeds I might have accomplished somewhere among strangers, coming to them only as only a river can, touching every life it meets, that endlessly kind, that enduring.
We pour the water of community, the water that touches every life it meets, water that begins as a tiny stream or a spring and becomes a great river as it blends together, water from the Great Lakes, Pacific and Atlantic Oceans, and the Euphrates and Tigris rivers. We bring water that reminds us that we are all interconnected, part of the web of all existence. Water that invites us to touch every life we meet with kindness. Now we reflect on the water of healing. I invite Colleen to share with us a poem called The Fountain by Denise Levertov.
Don't say there is no water to solace the dryness of our hearts. I have seen the fountain springing out of the rock wall and you drinking there. And I too, before your eyes, found footholds and climbed to drink the cool water. The women of that place, shading her eyes, frowned as she watched. But not because she grudged the water, only because she was waiting to see we drank our fill and were refreshed. Don't say there is no water. That fountain is there among its scalloped green and gray stones. It is still there and always there, with its quiet song and strange power to spring in us, up and out through the rock. We pour the water of healing, the water of resilience of life, from the boundary waters from Mammoth Spring, the Nile and Amazon rivers, the great aquifers beneath us, and the rain clouds above us. We bring water that renews and refreshes, offers healing and solace, and restores our soul.
Now we'll reflect on the water of hope. I invite Evian to read the poem The Rainmaker by Clarissa Pinkola Estes.
Water. For by the scent of water alone, the withered vine comes back to life, and thus, wherever the land is dry and hard, you could be the water, or you could be the acequia, the mother ditch, carrying the water from river to river, carrying the water from river to the fields, to grow the flowers for the farmers. You could be the battered vessel for carrying the water by hand, or you could be the one who stores the water. You could be the one who protects the water, or be the one who blesses it, or be the one who pours it.
We pour the water of hope, the water of power, of intense energy, water that transforms. From Niagara Falls and Victoria Falls, the Southern Ocean and the Caribbean Sea, and the mighty Columbia and Colorado rivers, we bring water that purifies and brings possibilities through its power to change. Water that invites us to remember that a just and peaceful world is possible. Now let's enjoy a video of one another sharing water. Would you join me now in a responsive reading as we bless the waters and we bless this community? The waters are tranquil when we affirm the interconnectedness of people everywhere. when we express our commitment to this community and to the earth in ways that call forth beauty and generate strength, and when we minister to each other with compassion.
May our waters be peaceful and our sailing smooth.
The waters rush when we embrace our imagination and our creativity, our power to unveil our old ways of thinking and to create new visions.
May we ride the waves with a sense of joy, freedom, and fun.
The waters shine when we use our powers wisely and for the good, when we question and doubt, when we challenge ourselves to understand ourselves and the world around us. And when the waters storm, when we consecrate our energy and loyalty to signify that we place ourselves, hearts, minds, and hands at the service of something larger than ourselves.
May the spirit that is love hold us, and may this community nourish us as our journey together continues. And may we be renewed as a people who inspire love, seek justice, and grow in community. May it be so.
We've just blended our water, symbolizing what we each bring to this community, our unique selves, our gifts, our passions and hopes for life, all things we choose to share with one another. We also share our money so that our community is vibrant, strong, so that we can be together virtually for worship or community for shared ministry, and so that we can make a difference for good in the world. One way we make a difference is by sharing with agencies and organizations in the Kent community and beyond that serve those in need. This month's special offering is for Miller House of Kent. The Miller Community House provides emergency shelter to men, women, and children who are experiencing a housing crisis. Your generosity makes all of this possible. Thank you. So now, in the spirit of gratitude for the gift of one another and this community, we give and receive the offering as a sign of our shared commitment to the life and work of this congregation and beyond.
We are living beneath the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Well, I'm alone and I am searching, hungering for answers in my time. I am balanced in the brink of wisdom. I'm impatient to receive a sign. I move forward with my senses open. Imperfection, it be my crime. In humility I will listen, 'cause we're all swimming to the other side. On this journey through thoughts and feelings, binding intuition, my head, my heart, I am gathering the tools together. I'm preparing to do my part. All of those who have come before me, band together and be my guide. Loving lessons that I will follow. We're all swimming to the other side. When we get there, we'll discover all of the gifts we've been given to share have been with us since life's beginning, and we never noticed they were there. We can balance at the brink of wisdom, never recognizing that we've arrived. Loving spirits will live together. We're all swimming to the other side. And we are living beneath the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. But we can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Yes, we're all swimming to the other side.
It is time now to bring our worship to its close, this time of coming together in community, of being together. To do so, we extinguish our chalice. You join me now in the words for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. May we carry these in our hearts and minds until we are together again. I invite you now to join in singing our closing hymn, Spirit, Make Us One.
We proclaim a saving message, as in times of old. History, give us courage, make us bold. There is healing, there is hope for every hurting soul. Spirit, give us comfort, make us whole. Make us whole, make us bold. History, give us courage, make us bold. Make us whole, make us whole. Spirit, give us comfort, make us whole. Earth, receive our heart's thanksgiving under prairie skies. Nature, bless our yearning, make us wise. We are here for one another, in good times and bad. Spirit, give us laughter, make us glad. Make us wise, make us wise. Nature, bless our yearning, make us wise. Make us glad, make us glad. Spirit, give us laughter, make us glad. Still let justice be the saving struggle we pursue. Conscience, give us honor, make us true. We bear witness to the promise, future now begun. Spirit, bless our journey, make us one. Make us true, make us true. Conscience, give us honor, make us true. Make us one, make us one. Spirit, bless our journey, make us one.
These words are adapted from Kaylee Rice. Today we have poured water into a common bowl. Though our experiences have differed, these waters mingle, signifying our common humanity. Today you came and shared in this sacred community. Now may you depart this sacred space, hearts filled with hope for new beginnings, a fresh start. Go forth, but return to this community where rivers of tears may be shed, where dry souls are watered, where your joy bubbles up, where your life cup overflows, where deep in your spirit you have found in this place a home. And now, blessed by this time together and filled with hope for the peace, the justice, the love we can create together that our world so desperately needs, let us go forth in peace and joy to inspire love, seek justice, and grow in community. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. And namaste. I see the divine in you.